A few years ago, one volunteer from the Borders went into a Scottish prison to try and help the prisoners there who were struggling with addiction by offering lived experiences recovery. Now, ITV Border has been given exclusive access during National Recovery Month to come and see for ourselves what Coaching Recovery Scotland does and why it's working.
You know, this started off with me volunteering, going to Edinburgh one day a week on my day off to work in HMP Edinburgh and see if I could make a difference. People who have got lived experience of recovery, coming in and engaging with people who are in prison is actually really effective. It's certainly very cost effective, but it's very effective in helping deliver some hope for those people.
Rod has led the initiative, which branched out of Edinburgh. Here in Glenocle Prison near Stirling, Lee has gone from being a participant in this course to being trained up to become a coach and now helps others.
I had my own problems, I'm in here for drugs and organised crime. It must take a lot for the SPS to believe in a place like a prisoner who's in here for drugs and organised crime, to then give them the opportunity to come back in here and help people get off drugs and get away from organised crime, especially whenever they're still deemed as a prisoner. So the trust is definitely, it's been great, but it's also given me the inspiration, the motivation to keep that momentum going. Helping other people staying away from that helps build up my recovery.
These men are in Glenocle for different reasons, but one thing they have in common is their struggle with addiction. And Recovery Coaching Scotland isn't the only agency working to help residents with addiction, as well as recovery staff within the Scottish Prison Service. But the results speak for themselves.
Looking back at this time last year and where we were, Ashley and I kind of stand back sometimes and look at where we currently are and who we're working with, and you're noticing how you've got a personal impact on these individuals' lives.
When we started the recovery community in Glenocle, as I said, it was just a few guys coming down, but as they came down and they started to maintain the recovery and their attitudes began to change, the other guys up the hall were seeing that, and then they wanted to become involved. And by seeing a success story, it really encouraged other people to get involved.
Is there any evidence that addiction support that's offered could potentially reduce reoffending?
So there's no evidence to suggest that being in recovery can reduce reoffending. However, substance and alcohol use can be seen as a risk factor for offending behaviour. Therefore, if we approach that risk factor and try and reduce the risk, it may then lead to a reduced risk in reoffending.
It can't happen without funding though, and Rod has his eye on a particular pot of money.
You know, we raise a lot of money and have raised a lot of money through minimum unit pricing in Scotland. Currently that money just goes on to the retailer's bottom line. We have alcohol treatment pathways in many areas in Scotland that are not fit for purpose. What we're calling for is for that money to be reinvested, to unblock those pathways for people. And so that's part of it. And the other part of it is to invest in recovery communities.
In a statement, the Scottish Government says, as the Scottish Government does not raise any money directly from the MUP, it is not in our gift to divert to any organisations. Rates of alcohol duty and value-added tax are reserved to the UK Government. Lee is a great example of the scheme's success. He's now housed at an open prison, which has lower security than normal, and he returns to Glenocle to lead these sessions and help others.
In my own journey, the relationship I've got with my son, with my family, with my peers, and the pride that they've got coming from a dealer to a healer. You know what I mean? They've basically seen me being out there involved in serious organised crime and then getting caught and coming in here and thinking he's going to go right off the rails, to turning my own life around. That keeps me motivated, and that's been inspirational for me, seeing the effects that coming in here in the worst circumstance took for my family to going back out here with the best circumstance. I mean, who else goes into the prison and comes out with a job?
Recovery Coaching Scotland operate out of 4 prisons, but they hope to expand into more with the help of new coaches like Lee to support others with their path to recovery. Isla Todd, ITV News.